I want to thank everybody for taking time out of your busy schedule and coming to tonight's little meeting. And I'm very excited with this company, Engage, and I know some of you are as well that have been able to take the nutrients. It's given me a lot more energy. Um, uh, I'm sleeping better. Um, I have not, for particular reasons, taken the GLP-1 yet, um, but I'm in love with the CBD because some of you know that sometimes uh, although I'm a happy-go-lucky type of person, at times, I do get a cloud of depression that will come and hang over me. So I really appreciate that CBD because it works. It really works. It's a great product, and we're dealing with somebody that is world renowned. That Dr. Prasad, and I'm just so impressed with his credentials, and I'm just over the moon with it, with this product, with this company, and so therefore I when I find something good, I want to share it. So that's why I invited you all this evening. So thanks a lot for coming, and I guess I'll turn it over to you now, Jonathan.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Maggie. Um, very much appreciate your being willing to extend an invitation to people that you care about this way, and I applaud all of you for accepting the invitation that Maggie extended to you or someone else. Maybe it may have someone else because the invitation was made available. Maggie said it was okay to let others invite guests too. We have folks like my co-host now, Beth Sturdivant. She has a large group, and maybe some of her guests are on as well. So thank you guys for joining us. And this is going to be a fairly brief and impromptu. I don't want to say impromptu. It's informal. It's more of an informal meeting. So that means that if you have a question, something wasn't clear, the whole thing is being recorded too, by the way. So if there's something that you don't want to be blasted all over the world, don't say it here. So it's right now it's being broadcast on YouTube. We do have a lot of guests and followers on YouTube because they learn about this. There's a lot of folks who want to know what they can do to feel better. There's many of us who have a few miles on us now that have found out that things don't do what they used to do. Our body just doesn't function the way that it used to function. We're just getting older. But the fact that we feel older is sometimes not really your fault, and there's something that can be done about it. And that's why I personally am excited about this. I met Maggie, I don't know, maybe 10 or 15 years ago. And even back then, I began suggesting nutrition things that she could do. And so over the years, we've had a relationship like that. And then, it's just a matter of time before you tell people that you care about something that can absolutely positively make a difference. You try to be real careful about that because you don't want to push anything on someone. So that's why we're always so timid about it. But this is one of those things that you don't have to be timid about because it's real, and the product works. There's nothing scammy about it. There's nothing fake about it. The credentials are above reproach. So, but again, you guys can ask questions if you like. And again, it's going to be very, very, very brief. I think I'd like to just share with you maybe a story or two that may illustrate the reason why Maggie and I are so excited about this product and the products that the scientists that we're going to tell you about, Dr. Prasad, why we're so excited about it. And there may be a particular topic that you all are specifically interested in. And if you are, in fact, let me just ask, is anyone has any concerns whatsoever about, say, things like diabetes or arthritis or anything like that? Anyone in that situation? Just
I have
I
rheumatoid
heard,
arthritis.
oh, arthritis. Okay, so you're interested in something like that. Okay. And
Hypertension.
hypertension, you're interested in that. Okay. All right. All right. I don't want to say good because it's bad, but okay, I got you. Anyone else? Okay. Well, I'm going to just share this one quick story with you, and it may cover some of that. And then I'll drill down a little bit just so that you understand how and why a what really amounts to what some people call a vitamin, a multivitamin, can have such a huge impact on people because it's not just a multivitamin. But let's listen to a Martha Lawrence's story. Let me see if we can get this to play for you.
Good evening. I just wanted to comment and say that I've been on the micro daily now since about April. And yes, my A1C, I was considered pre-diabetic, and my A1C has dropped tremendously. And also, my brother in Virginia, he's diabetic very bad. He takes the insulin and 10 other medications. And what I did, I sent him 4 bottles of micro daily, and I told him to take it 2 times a day. And he's been taking it now for about the last, I guess, 6 weeks. Well, anyway, another brother of mine called and asked me, what did you send Robert Van? So I told him some supplements, micro daily. He says, you know, he looks good. He says before he was like dying right before our eyes. His skin was dried out. He was just looked so unhealthy, and he had lost so much weight. He says now he's like a flower that was dying and was watered, and he has come back to life. So even Robert Van told me, he called and he says, I feel better. He says, I'm picking up weight. He says, and I have an overall feeling of healthiness. But anyway, I told him not to stop taking his medications, to wait until he go and, to see his doctor, take his blood work and let the doctor take him off of his medications. So far, so good. He's doing much, much better. And I just wanted to let you know that Micro Daily did it. Well, for me, I was having a lot of problems with allergies. I was allergic to foods such as eggs, peanut butter, dairy products, and they were giving me asthma-like symptoms. I would wheeze and so on. So when I started taking a Micro Daily, stop. And I found that I could eat eggs and peanut butter, but I mean, I didn't go overboard. I got good sense, But I can now eat the foods that I was allergic to. And it has also helped me with, I had arthritis really bad. I could not straighten out my fingers in the morning. My hands were so stiff. Now I can actually move my fingers. And the first time it happened, I was like a little baby, seeing my hands for the first time. So it has really helped my stiffness in my body, where I'm not as stiff anymore. And I have a tendency, I do exercise, but my body gets very sore. But now I'm able, it just for some reason, my body doesn't get as sore as it used to by me using a Micro Daily. So it has really helped me a lot.
That's wonderful. Now, just another quick follow-up question. How soon did you notice that thing with your hands after you started taking it?
Oh, that was in a couple of days. It was like I woke up one morning and my fingers weren't stiff, and I can move my fingers, and it was in a couple of days.
Okay.
It didn't take long.
Yeah, I just wanted to make sure that they understood that because I still remember your phone call and you're noticing that little difference in how your body was working within days. Could it? I think your question was, is it possible that this stuff could be working that fast? That's what I think I remembered hearing.
Yes, I couldn't believe it.
So very good.
I
So
couldn't believe it. But anyway, my other brother, who was the one that questioned me about what I sent my other brother, my diabetic brother, he decided he wanted to try it too. But he loves the brain boost because he said he has brain fog all the time. So now he's on the brain boost, and he takes the micro daily too. But he really likes the brain boost. So I have two brothers now that are taking the product.
okay, and also for the record, I believe you were a fairly health conscious person and you were taking lots of vitamins and things, right?
Oh my goodness, I spent hundreds of dollars every month on all kinds of supplements because I've always been very health conscious, and I don't like going to the doctor. I don't like taking pharmaceutical medicines. I mean, the only one I take right now is a high blood pressure medication, and that's it. The doctor has been trying to get me to take high cholesterol. No, thank you. It causes too many other problems. So I'll just continue to take my micro daily, and I eat right. And I started eating even better by just eating all natural foods and whole foods. And so far, so good.
So that's just one story, and we have many like that. And we do have to mention that when it comes to testimonials, they're purely anecdotal. What happens to one person may or may not happen to you. But Martha Lawrence, on her own, just decided to share her story one day. So that's not someone who was just paid to make these statements. We didn't give her a script. She literally just broke into the conversation one day and just said, "Can I say something?" And then she just started telling her story, which was amazing. And by the way, I forgot to introduce myself. Tell you a little bit about my background. I'm not a doctor, so don't do anything I say because I say it. The FDA has not evaluated any of the statements or comments that are being made right now, so this is for education and information purposes only. But I'm the research director for the Healthcare Support Association of America and a health educator. So that's what I do. I've been doing research now for about 35 or so years. My wife and I basically decided that we didn't want to get the diabetes that we saw our parents suffering with. So we decided that you have to just change trajectory because you, generally speaking, will get whatever you're predisposed to, because most diseases are passed on either genetically or based on your environment and what you're exposed to emotionally and otherwise. So we decided to start making some changes so that we would not go down that path. And so far, we've been able to avoid it. But as a result of that, my wife had all kinds of problems, most of it autoimmune in nature. And that forced us both to begin to do research even more because we want to solve that problem. It took some time, but we finally did. But after all said and done, where we've landed now is has basically yielded what I believe to be the simple, easiest, most comprehensive way to address most problems. And again, not because I'm thinking that way, but because science says it. Dr. Linus Pauling, for example, said, two-time Nobel laureate, he said that every disease is rooted in a vitamin and mineral deficiency. Now, a lot of folks didn't believe that when he said it. In fact, some laughed at him. But it's proven to be true that most diseases really is an indication that we just don't have sufficient nutrients in our body. So once you restore the proper nutrients to the body, it's been proven now over and over and over again that the body simply functions much better. And we can say that with confidence because of what we've learned from Dr. Kedar Prasad. So I'm just going to show real briefly what a little bit of the history behind the products that Martha Lawrence took herself, what she gave to her brother Robert Vance, and what she gave to her other brother, and all of them yielding positive results. What Maggie has been taking that's made her excited, what I'm taking, what my wife is taking, what my mother-in-law is taking, everybody in my family now is taking these supplements that were formulated by Dr. Prasad. Everyone who was already extremely, I should say extremely health conscious, but more health conscious than normal, and taking things to try to avoid going down those paths. But this has made a huge difference. So you see this brochure. By the way, whoever invited you here today can share this same document with you. I'm going to just kind of thumb through it real quick and get to some of the high points. But you can get a copy of this electronically or hard copy if you like. But the name of the company is Engage Global. It's the micronutrient company. And you're about to hear about the science behind the world's most scientifically validated micronutrient supplements. And that's really what this is all about. Micronutrient deficiencies, it really is. It sounds hyperbole here. It's a crisis in human health. And you're starting to see, maybe even now in this country, the government is beginning to start raising questions about the root causes of problems. Why is it that the wealthiest country on the planet lands number 37 as far as quality of health is concerned on the list, lower on the list than some third world countries, even though the amount of money being spent on healthcare is greater than the top 8 or 10 combined as far as expenditures is concerned. I think, in fact, the statistic is somewhere in the area of $4 trillion is being spent in the health and healthcare arena, and yet we're number 37 on the list as far as quality is concerned. Well, part of that is because we truly are in a micronutrient crisis, and the reasons for it are identified there in the bottom half of the screen. But you say to yourself the same thing that I said. Well, we can't stop eating. You can't escape radiation. You can't escape pesticides. This stuff is here. It's part of our life. So it's one thing to say, okay, all right, these things are part of the problem, but how do you get around it? What do you do? And so most people simply accept it. And that's the reason why most people right now are as sick as they are. Someone mentioned arthritis. Someone else mentioned diabetes. Someone I saw it in the chat, balance issues. And there's probably many, many, many other things that you're not saying on this conference as of now. But 1/3 of the United States adult population is dealing with either overweight or obese. That's a real problem. And every single one of those things, according to this gentleman right here, is rooted in oxidative stress. That's really what it boils down to. And that's the reason why I can say with confidence that you'll get rid of the symptoms of many, many things that most of us are complaining about by focusing attention on oxidative stress. It doesn't sound like much to you, and it sounds technical. What is this oxidative stress? It sounds technical. I don't want to even think about it. It sounds technical. But just listen to me carefully. When you hear the words oxidative stress, just know that the next dot that you're going to connect after that is a disease. Doesn't matter what it is, it traces back to oxidative stress. So if you can target oxidative stress, you can have an impact on almost everything in the body. It's pretty amazing. But this gentleman here, it's been published more than 250 times. Linus Pauling was his mentor. Dr. Prasad was even invited to be a member of the Nobel Peace Prize nominating committee for candidates in medicine. He's been published, I said, close to 300 times, but he's also written about 35 books. He's still cranking out papers, medical papers, science papers, and books even now, and he's 90 years old. So it's pretty remarkable that anyone at that age could do that, but that's what this man is doing. And this is the rest of his accolades. Again, it's mentioned right there in the brochure that you'll get a copy of. So how did this all start? Well, the United States government decided that they wanted to have the soldiers on the battlefield be in optimal, shape. And none of the vitamin companies stepped up to bid on the contract to produce this supplement. No one wanted to touch it, because if you come up with a supplement that would have a huge impact on general health, there's no money in that, number one. And number two, Is it possible that healthier people would need less drugs and less medication? I'm not implying that they were, motivated, because there's just more money and people being sick. I'm not saying that at all. But if you were a business person and you were, say, selling cars, what would make you promote, bicycles, for example? Your interest is in what you sell. And so that's unfortunately the way that it is, but not so with Dr. Prasad. Dr. Prasad stepped up and he put this formula together in response to what the United States Congress wanted, what the military was requesting. He did that. It went through rigorous testing. He had to pass the internal review board, and that was months and months and months of testing, safety testing. He had to prove to the government that his supplement would not contraindicate with any known pharmaceutical medications. None. He had to prove it to them. So, and when I heard about that, I said, okay, well, why would it contraindicate with the medication? Because what he ended up coming up with really was the food that's missing from our food. So I don't know any medication that contraindicates or that is neutralized by food. It doesn't work against it because it's just food. So it's not a drug that you can't take that will conflict with another drug. It's just food. It's the food that's missing from our food. And that's why Dr. Prasad's formula is so powerful. It's been awarded some 10 US patents so far. And the military used it for quite a while. And there's a whole nother story as to why they're not using it to this day. And but that's a whole different discussion. We'll talk about that later. But there's Dr. Prasad and his partner now, David Nemelka, because Dr. Prasad is a scientist. David Nemelka saw an opportunity. He saw an opportunity. He reached into his pocket, and that's why this company, Engaged Global, exists. So you got the brains on the left and the brawn on the right. And this product has now been brought to the world. The one on the left is what was produced for the military. And it was because of Dr. Prasad's know-how that the product on the right, along with the muscle from David Nemelka, that we have Microdaily Original. So that's the formula. That's the original formula that was produced for the United States military. It was given several patents. I'll tell you about those in just a minute. My favorite, well, I have two favorites on there. One of them has the words optimal health in the title. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine going to the United States Patent Office and saying, I have a formula that will provide optimal health to the person that uses it? And then they award you that patent. Can you imagine that? Well, that's what happened. Optimal health. Now, to a 20-year-old, those words don't mean anything. But if you're over 60, those words sound like music, sound like an orchestra. So Dr. Prasad formulated it also so that it would go into a powder that you can mix into a bottle of water. So that's the one on the bottom, the same original formula, but you can just mix it in a bottle of water, shake it up, and drink it down. Tastes pretty good too. Tastes a little like lemonade. So a lot of folks like that. People who don't like to swallow capsules. This is what's in it. Nothing real complicated. Vitamin A, vitamin E, vitamin E succinate, vitamin C, B3, B12, CoQ10, alpha lipoic acid, N-acetylcysteine, beta carotene, and several other things. So I shouldn't say that that's all that's in it. There's a lot more. But the key to this is not what the ingredients are, but the source of the ingredients, the exact quantity, and the form. So Dr. Prasad's specific formula is what makes all the difference in the world. I've had medical professionals say to me, well, I'm taking all this, that's just a vitamin, and hand it back to me. And I said, let me see if I got this right. You think $24 million invested and 40 years of research would produce a multivitamin that you could go to CVS and buy off the shelf? No, there's something very unusual about this product. And Martha Lawrence basically is a perfect example of that, because she was already spending hundreds of dollars every month taking all kinds of vitamins and supplements. But within days, her body experienced what it was incapable of experiencing on the average run-of-the-mill vitamin on the market today. And I do remember, I'm telling you, it was like a couple of days after she started taking it, she called up, she says, is it possible that this stuff could be working that fast? I'll never forget that. I always love those kinds of phone calls. So anyway, this is, I'm just going to thumb through this. This is the most advanced formula that Dr. Prasad has produced right here, the microdaily EMF. He added 4 additional ingredients because of the elevated levels of 5G radiation that our bodies are being exposed to. Everybody's walking around with a source of radiation in our pocket. Like women are carrying it in their bags, men are clipping it on their belts. But we're being slammed with EMF radiation. Even if you keep your phone away from you, there's towers around us now that is saturating our bodies and our lives with 5G radiation. And the radiation that we're being hit with today is 700 times more powerful than the first cell phones that were produced and released to the market. So we're really being hammered with radiation these days. Dr. Prasad produced a children's formula as well. So that's these gummies, and kids love them. My niece has been chewing on those for a while. She was the only one in the whole family that didn't get COVID when she was taking those gummies. And then the new GLP-1 Boost product has now been released, and this is phenomenal. This behaves just like Ozempic, except without the side effects. It causes the body to produce its own GLP-1 rather than a synthetic product that replaces the function of the GLP-1 hormone. So it triggers or causes less hunger, sends a signal to the brain that you're satisfied much earlier in the eating process, which is just beautiful. So we're seeing folks that are losing inches and losing their mind because they're excited with the results that they're getting. Dr. Prasad is the one who put that formula together, and his patent pending as well. Probiotic formula he put together, it's very unique and it works. The omega-3 formula that he put together is very unique and it works. So every single formula that this man has put together is not the same as anything that's available on the market. So do not delude yourself into thinking, well, I can get this someplace else. Most of them have either been patented or are patent pending. This one just received its patent about 6 months or so ago. I think it was 6 months or so. I lose track of time these days. But that collagen peptide is absolutely phenomenal. This combination here, Dr. Prasad calls the core 4. So these are the essentials that everyone should be taking. And I love the way Engage Global basically subsidizes our health. So those ingredients there would probably cost well over $1,000 just buying the ingredients. But put together, and then you'd have to figure out how much of each one to take on your own, even if you did get all the ingredients. But Dr. Prasad's done all the math. He's done all the science. He's figured out how to put the formulas together. They all work synergistically together. If you pay for this bundle here retail, it will cost over $300. If you bought it wholesale, like those of us who are distributors buy it, it will cost us about $250. But Engage Global knocked off another $50 off that so that everybody could at least try it and see if it makes a difference for them. And we're finding out that everyone who takes it, it does make a difference because remember what I said earlier? Oxidative stress is real. It is very, very real. And all of these are just essential elements that make our bodies feel better. No question about it. And I wanted to show you the list of the patents here in just a moment. Let me tell you about this one clinical study right here. That kind of looks a little bit yucky, but all it really is the lung tissues of 2 different rabbits. And don't feel sorry for the rabbit. They ate really, really well before this experiment started. They really had just great meals. The one on the right was given some of Dr. Prasad's formulas. The one on the left just had his favorite meal. But then both of them were exposed to lethal doses of radiation. Now, the one on the left, that looks more like a liver than it does lung tissue, doesn't it? But it's the same lung tissue. The way it's supposed to look is the way the one on the right looks. And so when Dr. Prasad's formula was in the bunny rabbit on the right, it protected all of his internal organs. And remember what I said about that oxidative stress? On the left is what oxidative stress is. That's the result of oxidative stress. That's what radiation, toxins, and free radicals do from the inside out. So it's almost like an apple that's been exposed, cut open, it starts to turn brown. That's oxidation. But this is, of course, highly accelerated because it's radiation. But when you have something that protects your internal organs, the one on the right is what you want your body to look like. And that's an amazing piece of information there that we have as a result of that trial, that study that was done there in connection with NASA. And this is another list of trials that was done. The third one down, DNA protection and repair, they found out that within 48 hours of exposure to radiation, our cells begin to repair themselves, almost 100% repair within 72 hours. So if you go in for dental work, you go in for a CT scan, MRI or something, what you should be doing is making sure that you take micronutrients before and take them after if you don't want to suffer from radiation damage to your body. But this is the list of the patents right here. And there's one of them that caught my attention that changed my entire trajectory, because when my mother died, the official cause of death was complications of diabetes. So I had a deep-seated hatred for diabetes. And someone introduced Jeff Ashby to me and sent him over to my house. And Jeff was doing a presentation, not much unlike what I'm doing right now. And quite frankly, I didn't really want to hear it because I had found some really good products. And I didn't think I needed anything else. And I'm just being honest right now. But when I saw on the bottom left, one up from the bottom, the date of the patent, October the 20th, 2009, micronutrient formulations for the treatment of diabetes mellitus. When I saw that title, I asked Jeff to stop his presentation. I said, I don't need to hear anything else. Nothing else. Tell me about that patent right there. And that blew my mind. He didn't just tell me about it. He packed up 4 packages and sent them express mail to 4 different people who were brittle diabetics that I personally knew. Every one of them said the same thing. My fasting sugar levels have never been that low. And that's all I needed to hear, because no matter what I had given to those same folks, it had never had that same kind of result. So I was convinced at that point that there was something unusual about Dr. Prasad's formulas, something very unusual about it. And that's the reason why I can't stop talking about this, and I will never stop talking about it. Because, again, it traces me back to the day that my mother died. When I asked the intensive care nurse what was she doing for her, the woman said, well, we're monitoring her very closely. I said, I'm doing that. I mean, what's in monitoring a person? I said, no, but what are you actually doing to make her better? And the woman says, to be honest with you, Jonathan, we're praying for her immune system to kick in. And it was at that moment that I realized they were going to let my mother die because they didn't have an immune system kicker in her. And I swore then I would never, ever be in that situation where I would not be able to pull out of my pocket an immune system kicker in her and explain to anyone who needed it what it did, why it works, and why they should put that in their body and or in the body of someone that they care about. And that's why I'm talking to you today. It's because of that. And I'm seeing phenomenal results. Martha Lawrence is just one example. I don't have any balanced stories right here, but I tell you what, this coming Sunday, I'm going to be interviewing Dr. Prasad about stroke. So if you want to hear that presentation, you want to make sure that you get the invitation from whoever invited you here today, and be there this coming Sunday, because we're going to be talking about stroke. We're going to share with you some testimonials from folks that had strokes that will just blow your mind. One of them, my own sister, she was told her whole left side, she couldn't use it. Every time they try to make her stand up, she just fall over. Her whole left side was gone. And within that week, this was during COVID, I got into the hospital and I gave her some of the same supplements, Micro Daily. And she took 3 right in front of me. I wanted to make sure she could swallow them and not choke. And I said, can you do that again tonight? She said, yeah. I said, now do this 3 times every day. Take these 3 capsules 3 times a day. So she took 1 more set before she went to sleep that night. And in the middle of the night, she woke up kicking her covers off. And she said, wait a minute, how am I doing that? And she looked at her left hand in front of her face and she wiggled her fingers. She kicked her left leg up because she thought she was dreaming. She thought she was dreaming, but her whole left side came back. And that was just within the first week. And we'll tell you another story about a gentleman who had a stroke 2 years prior and what he experienced. And we'll tell you another story about another woman who had a stroke 10 years prior and what her body went through. So you're going to want to be there for this presentation on Sunday. So let's pause right now and see if there's a couple of questions that we can answer from you folks before we conclude our discussion. And there may be some here right now that are taking microdaily that if you'd like to share your story, feel free to do so. But if you have a question, just unmute yourself, raise your hand. Okay, Linda Dukes, go ahead. I see you waving there. I don't see your little yellow hand up, but I see you waving.
I was looking for the yellow hand. I just wanted to say that in taking this, if I want even more energy, I don't swallow the capsules. Like I'll put them on my cereal or I'll put them on my oatmeal. And I can tell the difference as to how it works. If I'm feeling a little down, no energy, and I'll just take them loose and put them in there, and then I go on. And it seems like my energy, but when I take them where it has to break down, it's a little slower coming.
Okay.
That I just wanted to mention that.
Well, thank you for sharing that. But why do you take microdaily anyway? I mean,
okay, I take it
what's
because
your story?
What you mentioned earlier, I'm a diabetic. I have an autoimmune problem. I'm just a mess. Because I used to go to a doctor that cost me a lot of money along with his medication, and I couldn't afford it anymore. He was improving my health, but I just could not afford the medication, and they were good products.
Yeah.
So I couldn't afford it. And so when Maggie came to me and she told me, and then I started taking them, I said, oh yeah. Oh yeah. So my husband saw that my energy level that was down, it came up. And so now he's taking them.
Wow.
So he's trying to get his energy level up. And so I know it works because, as you said earlier, I already know that the reason we have so many problems is because we don't have the proper vitamins in our system. And that's what the gentleman told me. And he's one of his main concerns when I started going to him, and I didn't even know it. He goes, well, you know what? You came to me for your diabetes, but right now I'm trying to keep you from having a heart attack. I had no idea.
Yeah. Some scientists believe that that diabetes and heart disease should be classified as the same disease.
Yes. Yeah. So, he worked on and got my levels down and everything, but then I ran out of money.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So when I ran out of money,
that's what those kinds of specialists can do. It can put you in the poorhouse because unfortunately being healthy at that level can cost a great deal of money. This is affordable. This is affordable health.
That's what I realized. Yes.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you very much, Linda, for being willing to share your story. That's wonderful to hear. It's always exciting to hear when someone who was dealing with diabetes gets that kind of result. I just love it. I love it. Okay, I see Kay has her hand up, and
yes,
Kay, you look a little bit like a flamingo, but go ahead.
yeah, that's how I look today. Anyway, I have a friend who's on dialysis, and they go 3 times a week. How much of the microdaily should they take, and then should they take all 4?
That's a very good question. Very good question. I interviewed Dr. Prasad on kidney health. It might have been National Kidney Awareness Month or something. But we had several folks who benefited tremendously, where their kidney function was declining horribly. One woman, in fact, I was going to share that story with you. Her name is Corrine. Her mother's kidneys had stopped functioning, and they were just about to put her on dialysis. So she was in stage 4, and she put 5 capsules of microdaily EMF in her mom's applesauce. And within just a few hours, in her words, she said she was peeing like rain. That's what she said on the recording.
Mm.
And then about, I guess, a month or two later, her kidney function, percentage of function, kept going up. It kept going up, and we've had several people saying very similar things. In fact, I just had a conversation with a gentleman just a couple of days ago, a friend of mine, that his wife was having some serious health problems, and she started dialyzing. So, but they heard about Kareem's mom and the whole discussion about from Dr. Prasad, and since she's been on dialysis, her body is producing urine. She's actually urinating on her own.
Mm.
And so if from what I'm seeing and everything that I'm hearing, it's happened on a number of cases anecdotally that people have actually gotten off dialysis. So to answer your question, though, in my personal opinion, I think a person should take whatever they can afford. I believe that, think about it this way. When Dr. Prasad originally put the formula together, what you see on the bottle is the dosage for a healthy 20-year-old. Now, if you add a chronic problem to that, I personally feel that that you should double it up. Now, some can't afford that. Martha Lawrence, she wasn't taking double doses, and look at the results she got. Her brother wasn't taking double doses, and look at the results he got. So you can start with the standard dosages, but if you want better results, you take more. Personally, I have no chronic problems whatsoever, but I personally find that when I don't take more than the standard dose, my left knee somehow develops vocal cords and has the ability to speak.
Mm.
My right toe utters words. I don't know anything about it until I take the wrong amount of microdaily, but they talk to me. And then my lower back, I have issues. So I personally take more to avoid hearing that noise. I don't like the noise that come from my knee, back, and toe. So I take extra. So not everyone has to do that again. So they start with as much as they can afford, and then you take as much as you need to. You cannot, there is no toxic level of any of these products. There's no toxic level. You cannot overdose on it. So, but we don't want a person to overspend any more than they have to, but we also want them to get results. I've had people say, oh, it didn't work for me. Well, that's not true. It worked. You just didn't take enough.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in order for you to notice a difference, you know, and you may not have been taking it with an adequate amount of water either. So there's all kinds of reasons for it. So I hope that's kind of complicated answer to your question, but I hope that it helps you to understand.
Mm-hmm. I got it.
Okay. So whatever it takes is the answer is truly whatever it takes.
Okay.
Okay.
Yep. Start off with the standard and increase it affordable.
Yep. I found that with diabetics, what I generally do is I will start someone who has diabetes. I tell them to take a dose and a half 3 times a day if they really want to know right away. If they want to know, I tell them take a dose and a half 3 times a day, and then there's no question about the effect that they get. And then if you don't need that much, you just back down. You can titrate down, you know. But it'll get your attention when you take a dose and a half 3 times a day.
Okay.
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 Anyone else? Thank you. Thank you for asking, Kay. Appreciate that.
Hey, Jonathan.
Maggie.
You know, internet kicked me out, and now
Oh, how rude.
yeah, and now it just said that I could put on my I haven't been able to find where my video is. Am I on or no?
Yes, you are. You're right front and center right now.
Okay. So anyway, I have forgot to mention that I have a friend whose husband has a terrible bed sore, and it was caused from, not turning him in the hospital. Uh, he's a big man, but still, he's supposed to be turned, and they didn't turn him like they should have. He got this bed sore. It was all the way to the bone. So he was hospitalized, and now he's home, and they have to pack it. And the nurse, they come like I think every few days, but my friend, she does it every day. She cleans it up every day, but she's been giving him the micro daily, but it wasn't just until recently that you're speaking about dosage. So it wasn't until recently when I realized, oh, he's probably not taking enough. And so when I asked her how much was she giving him, well, she was giving him one envelope, the hydro, a day. That was it. So I mean, it wasn't getting infected or anything, but it just wasn't closing up or getting better. So I told her, no, this is a considered a chronic condition. So you need to increase. So one envelope, I found out, equals 3 of the pills, and
3 of the
that's
EMF, yes. Uh-huh.
yeah, EMF. And so she should take 2 envelopes in the morning and 2 in the evening. And within a relatively short period of time, just in doing that, when one day the nurse came and they measure, and I don't know exactly, what they use to measure, but he went from a 7 to a 6. So I was just elated. Uh, I I haven't been able to speak to her about it since, so I'm hoping that it's going to continue to heal, because I saw those pictures of the leg wounds that somebody had, and I saw um, how that healed up. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm just, she's been taking it for months, but only giving him one a day. So
Yep.
that wasn't enough. So
Yep.
I'm
That's
just,
a good example right there.
yeah, that's why I brought it up, and just the fact that now it's there's some indication of improvement.
Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good.
Yeah.
And it's stories like that, folks, that has helped us to understand. I mean, we hear it scientifically, the reasons why Dr. Prasad says take it twice a day. So we know that, but sometimes on the other end, the end user sometimes draws a conclusion that, well, this is good enough, and I don't want to take that many pills. Or they heard somewhere that if you take too much vitamin A, it'll cause this. If you take too much that, it'll cause this other thing. They don't get that Dr. Prasad is a scientist. He's not some college kid that just learned how to formulate products. He's a veteran scientist. And when he put together a formula and he says that these dosages are correct, it's because they're all in perfect balance. It's true. If you take one thing alone, yes, it could cause a problem. If you take one of these, it could cause a problem. But if you take the right combination in the right quantities and from the right form, you can take it in elevated amounts and your body just feels like, ooh la la. So it just does better. So thank you, Maggie, for sharing that story. If we have time, I'm going to show you guys a picture of someone that had a cancer that also had to take the right amount, and it made a huge difference. So go ahead, Dolores. Dolores, go ahead.
Yes, Jonathan, I've been taking macrodaily some 8 years. So I have a lot of stories I could tell. I'll just tell one. Well, when COVID came out, right at the beginning here in Albany, Georgia, we had an outbreak with COVID-19. I contracted COVID from a lady that I was talking to about the Bible. Took it home to my husband. I didn't know it was COVID because at that time they was telling everybody they had upper respiratory infections. But as the time went on, we were so sick. We just had to stay home, couldn't go to any meetings or anything, just stayed home and rest, and drank a lot of liquid. But one morning I woke up, I could not taste and I couldn't smell.
Oof.
So I knew from there that I had COVID.
Oof.
But the good thing about that was we didn't have to go to the doctor. We didn't go to the doctor. We didn't get any doctor medication. We stayed home. We took macrobella, a whole lot of it. And that was what brought us through that episode of COVID-19. Taking our macrobella, if I hadn't been taking it prior to that, more than likely I would end up, who knows, maybe not even here, because one of the lady's sisters, she's deceased. She died from that when we contracted. So it helped us. My whole family takes macrobella. It is an excellent, excellent product.
Wow. That's incredible. And to put that into context, that was in 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So 2019, 2020, before official word came out about COVID. So you were like probably one of the first people that got it.
In the area, yeah. I was in that first group. It was two groups of people in Albany, Georgia, that just wiped out a lot of people died in Albany.
Wow.
From that.
Had somebody traveled to China?
I don't know, but they traveled from Atlanta, Georgia to Albany. I don't know about China.
Yeah. Wow, that's interesting. But Dr. Prasad wrote a paper about in the fall of that year, 2020, and he outlined scientifically all the reasons why taking the core 4 could be a benefit to someone with fighting a viral infection like COVID-19. And he broke it down, all the reasons for it, which made all of us, at least made me understand how you and your husband survived it. And this was long before there was any treatment. There was no vaccine. There was no nothing that was out there. But Dr. Prasad put all that information together, and here it is, rolling back, looking back in retrospect, it was probably very much responsible for saving your life. So that's interesting. And you guys were not spring chickens, so you were in the high risk group, so called, right?
Mm-hmm. Most definitely. Yeah.
In your 70s at the time.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, with pre-existing conditions.
My husband, yes, had pre-existing condition.
That's true. You don't have anything going on with you.
Myself for the last 30 years, I don't have any health issues. Just getting old. Just getting older. That's it.
Yeah, I know that one. Thank you very much, Dolores. Appreciate your sharing. Yeah, your story. Kay has a question or comment.
I have another question. Is there any condition in which you should not take the collagen?
Dr. Prasad recommends not taking it if a person has active tumors. So if they've got cancer and they've got an active tumor, he recommends not taking microdaily. I mean the collagen. And the reason for that is because there's one particular mechanism of action that scientifically could promote the cancer, the tumor.
Okay.
So if a person does not have active cancer, it's fine. Now, on the flip side of that, understand this, because now people say, "Oh, wait a minute. If that thing can promote cancer, I don't want it at all."
Mm-hmm.
Listen carefully. Cancer cells require glucose and glutamine. Cancer cells must eat glucose and glutamine, just like you and I need food and water. Cancer cells need glucose and glutamine. When you have high doses of antioxidants in your body, the cancer cells it blocks the uptake of both. Cancer cells cannot take in glucose and glutamine. So even if there's sugar all through your body, even if there's collagen all through the body, it still can't eat. So it's blocking the glucose and the glutamine. So we have had folks, Jeff has told many stories, and I've had many clients the same way, that they personally just chose to continue taking collagen, and they all did fine. Their bodies resolved their issues with abnormal cells. So, and
So,
it's purely anecdotal, of course.
mhm. So then would you recommend then increasing the micronutrients if you decide to take the collagen?
A person, if they've got cancer, for a person that got cancer, they should be on therapeutic dosages, period. And that's triple the normal dose 3 times a day. So if they've been diagnosed with cancer, they should be taking triple the normal dose 3 times a day.
Okay.
So that's an absolute recommendation from Dr. Prasad. And then what they do after that is their decision.
Mhm.
Okay.
Okay. Mhm.
So good question. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Okay, before we wrap up, any other questions?
I have one for the Jones. Question: if you're on Immunocal and the booster, can you take 2 supplements together?
I do not know who's talking.
Kamari.
Kamari. Oh, there you are. Okay. So let me get this right. Oh, there you are. Okay. Hello, Kamari. um, please repeat your question.
If I'm taking Immunocal and their booster, energy booster, can you take the micro daily as well?
The energy booster is the extra sharp
Yeah.
energy
It's
drink.
green boxes, but it helps you energy.
Yeah.
Like
Immunocal is a bonded cysteine molecule. Immunocal is sourced from raw milk. When the body ingests it, that cysteine combines with 2 other essential amino acids and causes every cell in the body to make glutathione. So what Immunocal does is very similar to what Microdaily is doing also. Microdaily has N-acetylcysteine in it. N-acetylcysteine, guess what? Supplies cysteine, just like Immunocal does, along with glutamine and glutamate in your body already that's there, and causes every cell in the body to make glutathione. So Microdaily and Immunocal basically do the same thing.
Okay.
So Microdaily is doing everything that Immunocal does, only it's not providing a protein. So that's what Immunocal is. It's providing a protein, high quality protein. Now, what's also in Microdaily are all the other nutrients that the rest of the body needs, high in antioxidants. The boost you're talking about, if you're talking about extra sharp, are you talking about extra sharp or are you talking about a vitamin booster?
it's they call it red and green boxes. I'd have to look at the box or screenshot it to let you know what the exact ingredients are on it.
Okay, I think it's a nutritional, it's like a vitamin mineral thing.
Yeah.
I would not take the vitamin mineral thing along with Microdaily. That would be, I don't want to say the word overkill, but that would be extra. You wouldn't need to take the booster along with it, but you can take my Immunocal, and that would be fine.
But not the booster.
I would say you don't need it.
Okay, gotcha.
Because everything that's in Microdaily is already providing that.
Okay, got it.
But if you decide that you want to spend the extra money, just keep it 2 hours away.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. Where's my mangoes? Don't forget.
Yes, I have. I got some mangoes for you, actually.
Ooh. Okay.
Someone just handed us a whole bag full of mangoes. So you need to make sure you send me a text.
I will.
Make sure you send me a text because that bag is sitting right by the door and somebody's going to get those mangoes. Dolores, were you comment on that?
I was, yes.
Okay, go ahead.
I took Immunocal for 25 years. So I know it's an excellent product. But I came to my choice because I recognized something that you just said. I was spending extra money to get the results that I could get from Microdaily. So I can get from Microdeli what I got from Immunocal Plus. Because when I bought Immunocal, I had to buy other supplements. I had to buy my calcium, I had to buy my vitamins, my omega-3, or whatever. We do have omega-3 with Microdeli, but I could do that for my husband and myself for less than what I was doing with Immunocal. With Immunocal, in order to take the sufficient amount for both of us, I was spending a lot of money. I can spend less money and get the same results or even better because Immunocal, yes, optimizes, it builds causes your body to build glutathione, but Microdeli does a whole lot more. It optimizes the immune system and helps you to fight everything you need to fight with that immune system.
So true. Very well said. Thank you so much, Dolores. And very well said. And she speaks truth there, Kamari. She speaks truth. Let's see here. Roberta Rice.
Hello, Mr. Jonathan Jones. How are ya?
Very good, dear. How are you?
I'm great.
I
No
can't put you on the
complaints.
screen, but go ahead.
I have a friend that husband had open heart surgery
Mm-hmm.
last week.
Uh-huh.
And just wondering, after going through so many videos, I can't seem to pinpoint a good heart video to send her. Can you assist me with that?
I believe so. I believe so because we had discussions on the heart last year during National Heart Disease Month or something like that. So yes, I believe I can help send you a link to one specifically about the heart. I just recently got a note from someone just recently. In fact, she's in the Albany, Georgia area, not far from Atlanta, actually. And her sister was going in for heart surgery. And in the intensive care unit, they had agreed to let her take the microdaily methylated.
Oh,
But then
wow.
they encouraged her to just take it after she was done with the surgery. And so since she's been done with the surgery, the surgeons can't believe how much better she's doing, taking the product. So, but anyway, yes, I think I can send you one that I believe will be of benefit to you.
Okay, thank you. She's interested in our products. I didn't want to mislead or misguide her. So she asked if I had any information that I could send, and I sent Dr. Prasad's the booklet on Dr. Prasad bio and that. But
Yes.
she wanted to know if we had a video I could send. So thank
Yes.
you very much for that.
Very good. And anyone can access most of the recordings that I have is on my YouTube channel. So youtube.com/Jonathan Jones. And you can look at the podcast. If you go to the podcast, all of the conferences where I interviewed Dr. Prasad on a variety of subjects is all right there. So that's one place to find just about everything.
Okay, I tried, but I just couldn't come up on that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. No, I understand exactly what you're saying. So I'm
Okay.
going to take care of you on that one.
Thank you so much.
You're very welcome.
Bye.
Yes. Thank you for your question. And Monica has a question.
Hi, I'm new to your product. I'm taking the Micro Daily and I just started the weight vitamins this month. My question is, I have pulmonary fibrosis and I also have cardiovascular issues, but I am taking herbs like D3 and K2 and CoQ10. So I'm also taking the Micro Daily. Should I continue with the D3 and the K2 and the E and all the other vitamins I'm taking, and just stop taking those and just increase the Micro Daily, or should I continue with the D3 and K2?
The D3 and K2 is okay. You can continue that.
Okay.
Because D3, that's like going out in the sun, so you can't overdose on that. And K2 will simply help make sure that any calcium that you're getting is taken from the arteries and put into your bones and your teeth where it belongs.
Okay.
Now, Dr. Prasad feels that the probiotic boost provides enough of the K, helps the body produce enough of the K, sufficient amount. But the additional K2, especially if it's in small amounts, is it like 42 micrograms of K2? Or is
Not
this
quite.
it's a combination of D3 and K2?
No, they're separate.
They're separate.
Yes.
Okay, so what you want to do is just make sure that you keep the K2 somewhere no more than about 42 micrograms
Okay.
for about 10,000 units of D3.
Okay. I just started with the probiotics with the diet and
the GLP-1 Boost,
yes, and the what's the other one? The powder that I have to drink.
Oh, the collagen?
Yes, I just started that this week.
Good.
So, but I'm hearing everyone else's experience about increasing the micro daily, and I'm wondering if I increase my micro daily. I take it twice a day. Would it help with my conditions that I currently have?
I would highly recommend it. I would highly recommend. Which micro daily are you taking?
I have to ask Maggie.
That's so no. Which one? The red bottle, green bottle, or
red bottle?
Okay. So what you would do is what you could do is just buy a bottle of the original.
Okay.
And then that's the easy, inexpensive way of doubling your dose. So continue taking the red bottle like you're taking it, but now also add at least 2 capsules of the green twice a day.
Okay.
Now you've doubled the antioxidant power.
Okay.
Right there. And because that's what I do. In fact, to be honest with you, I take triple doses of microdaily in the morning. And I take double doses of microdaily in the afternoon. And then I take a dose and a half just before I go to sleep. So
explain to me a triple dose. I take the 3 from the red bottle, 3 in the morning, and I take 3 in the afternoon. So
which is very good.
What a triple dose?
Well, that's the standard dose.
Okay.
Now, what I'm suggesting you do is go to a double dose, right? So that means adding 2 of the original to your dose.
Okay.
So you take 3 of the red and 2 of the green at the same time. And then you'll do the same thing twice a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
I get it.
And if that's not enough, do it again. Add another dose.
Okay.
Okay. So you just keep going until you find your happy place.
Okay.
See, so it just took me a minute to find mine. I've been doing this now for years, but I found out now that I know what my level is, period.
Okay.
And I will not deviate from what I need for me.
Okay.
All right. So thank you, Monica. You're doing great. You're going in the right direction. Just keep going.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Yeah, we look forward to hearing your story.
Okay. I look forward to telling you.
All right. Excellent.
Thanks.
Let's see where we're a little after 7 now. We're just about ready to start our next meeting. Let's see here. Gretchen. Let's go to Gretchen first, then we'll come back to Roberta if we have another moment. We got another meeting starting at 7:30, folks. So if you know someone, send word out right away. They can come to the next meeting that's going to start at 7:30.
I just wanted to give a personal situation where I just got my blood work back maybe a few weeks ago, and my white blood cells were through the roof because, of course, when you're dealing with cancer coming away from that, your white blood cells tends to be really through the roof, and my red blood cells were really low. And I went to the chronic dose, and I started doing that. And by the time they took my blood again, it's a nurse friend that I have, and I had her read it because I'm not sure if it's saying exactly what I think it's saying. And it's Deborah, and she read it and she said, "Wow." And that was just 3 weeks, people. 3 weeks of taking the chronic dose. It completely changed my numbers because they were talking about doing something to help my liver because they felt like it was going to start causing problems for my liver. And I said, oh no, I'm not doing that. So I started taking the chronic dose, and I went back and all my numbers were excellent. Excellent, excellent, excellent. And I'm like, I already knew. I was already sold. I've been taking it since 93. I mean, 23, since 23, 2023. But I'm telling you, that was it. I was like, okay, now I need to really get my mom on it. And I put my mom on it. She, not only is she picking her feet up, she's 91 years old. She's picking her feet up when she walks. She used to wear glasses because the screen, the glare was bothering her. She doesn't wear those anymore either because she's on the eye boost. So I'm here to tell you, it's some exciting stuff happening. It's wonderful.
That's
Just had to
wonderful.
share.
Gretchen, thank you very much. Appreciate your being willing to share that as well. And we're just about to wrap up. Roberta, if you got the last word on that.
Just 60 seconds, I assure you.
Okay.
I had been having severe stomach cramping to the
Mhm.
point where I just last few days could hardly get out of bed. And I went to the doctor and he said I have a fibroid tumor that's the size of a grapefruit.
Ooh.
I had them many years ago, but they went away, except this one back in 2017 was the size. It was 17 centimeters, but now they're saying it has grown tremendously. What do you
Wow.
recommend? Oh, and they want
Therapeutic.
me to have surgery. And I told them the only way that would come out of me would be if I pee or pooped it out, and that ain't gonna happen.
Okay. Well, now you can do that. You can do that. Go to therapeutic dosage right away.
Okay.
Yeah,
Thank you.
triple doses 3 times a day, and because it's an abnormal cell, just the same. It's just benign.
They said it was
So,
hard as a brick, so
mhm.
still do. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
You go to triple doses right away.
Thank you.
All right, everybody. Maggie,
Thank you, Jonathan, for all of your explanations this
absolutely.
evening.
I'm just trying to find you here on the screen. Where are you?
I don't know, because I just went to where I could speak.
Okay. All right. Very good. Very good. Well, we're going to go ahead and conclude our discussion now. So feel free to address your guests. Thank you all for your attention.
Thank you.
Where
Thank
are we
you.
going? Where are we going on at, Mr. Jonathan?
The 7:30 presentation will be right here.
Okay, great. Thank
Want
you.
you to stay here?
For anyone who has guests, we're going to be doing the presentation again right here for any of your guests at 7:30.
And what will that be on?
Same topic.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. So Maggie, did you need to address your guest at all, Maggie?
No, just thank you so much for coming. And if you have any further questions, you can ask me. If I don't
Yep.
know, I'll just find out for you.
That's it. And you're all invited to come to the presentation on Sunday at 5 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and invite anyone that you care about. This presentation also was recorded, so it's available on my YouTube channel. Just go to the live section and you'll see the VIP for Maggie, or whatever we end up calling it. It'll be available there also. But it's not too late to invite anyone to come to the next meeting that's going to be starting in about 10 minutes. So thank you all very much for coming. Good job, Maggie. Thank you very much for your hard work.
Thank
you,
you,
Maggie.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Good night, everybody.
Thank you,
Good night.
Linda. Thank you.
Good night.
Good night, everybody.
Hi, Max.